All right, shalom. Shalom. First, want to give all praises, glory, and honor to Yahweh, Ba'ashim Yahushai. Double honors to the apostles, elders, great millstone, that rule well, and blessings to the elect. This is Brother Yakal. Coming with another lesson, second part of the tribe of Asher, because their blessing is oil. And as you've seen, recently America kidnapped Maduro. And they're saying about it's narco-terrorism and drugs and all this stuff. This is all the same playbook. History just is basically repeating itself. And it's pretty deeper than everything else. Like in the first part I did, you know, there was a clip from this news guy on YouTube saying, because Venezuela was selling oil to Russia, China and stuff, those their big trading partners, they didn't want that in their backyard. And that's from this thing called the Monroe Doctrine, which is elitist and imperialist. You know, they're delusional to think that they're well powered. They only attack nations that they know are weaker than them. And that makes him a bully, you know. But there's a different dimension to this as well, because we showed under Chavez that Chavez nationalized the oil and made it the profits from that to go to the people, and they got 50% of people out of poverty, which is a good thing. And I'm going to show you this video here. All right. If anyone is in doubt that it's about oil and other resources, have a look at this.
Why the United States needs to be in control of South.
Why is the game I download
America?
If I talk to my number two adversary in the region, Russia, I mean, I've got, of course, the countries, Cuba, Venezuela, and Nicaragua with Russia relationships. But why this region matters, with all of its rich resources and rare earth elements.
Huh?
You've got the lithium triangle, which...
Huh? What? How come J.D. Vance and Trump and Hegseth never mention this? They never mentioned all the resources they have. The general knows. She knows what the game is. It's all the natural resources. The first one she lists is lithium.
Is needed for technology today. 60% of the world's lithium is in the lithium triangle: Argentina, Bolivia, Chile. You just have the largest oil reserves, light sweet crude, discovered off of Guyana over a year ago.
Venezuela has more oil than Saudi Arabia.
You have Venezuela's resources as well, with oil, copper, gold. We have the Amazon, lungs of the world. We have the 31% of the world's fresh water in this region too. I mean, it's just off the charts. We have a lot to do. This region matters. It has a lot to do with national security, and we need to step up our game.
We need to step up our game. And so if you really want to know, who was importing the drugs from Venezuela, could it be our CIA? Could it be? Could it be our CIA? Could it be?
A ton of cocaine, pure cocaine worth hundreds of millions, is smuggled into the United States. Sound familiar? Not the way this ton of cocaine got here. According to what the former head of the Drug Enforcement Administration told Mike Wallace, this drug shipment got here courtesy of what he calls drug trafficking by the CIA in partnership with the Venezuelan National Guard. While rumors of CIA involvement in drug trafficking have circulated for years, no one in the U.S. government has ever before publicly charged the CIA with this kind of wrongdoing. And it's not the kind of accusation anyone in government would make without thinking long and hard.
Now, we understand what you're saying. A ton of cocaine was smuggled into the United States of America by the Venezuelan National Guard?
Well,
in cooperation with the CIA?
That's exactly what appears to have happened.
So, Chicago Ray, I love you. I'm just trying to give you the another point of view on this. Don't fall for the propaganda.
Exactly. So it's all about oil and it's all about resources because it's in that region that they call the lithium triangle, and so they've got other resources over there. All right, so that's why they kidnapped Maduro. So if anyone's in doubt about this devil and his what's the word, his, you know, his intentions, and there were people actually celebrating this stuff in America, man. You know, people that were Venezuelan living in America, they were celebrating it. They're celebrating the deaths of their own people because what happened was, well, when they attacked Maduro, they attacked other cities. They even bombed a place where they have things like medical resources and so forth. So this is all about oil, and it's all about resources, and it's all about wickedness, man. You know, that's why in Timothy it says what, and remember that they need these resources to create this beast system that they create. All right, AI and also and so forth. Lithium, it's for batteries, car batteries as well, electric vehicles. All right, so basically it's theft. And Esau's a parasite. I saw one brothers that did a video, and it was entitled Esau's a Parasite, and they were talking about it because of what's happening in Venezuela. All right, so this is 1 Timothy 6:10. For the love of money is the root of all evil, and those resources are going to be used to create this beast system and to sell. All right, because a lot of these rare earth minerals, China's got the majority of it. All right, which while some coveted after, and that's what America did. Covet means to what? To want something that someone else's have. All right, they have erred from the faith and have pierced themselves through with much sorrow. So it's all about money. It's all about resources. Resources bring money. All right, and money is what? The root of all evil. People kill over money, and they bomb over money, you know, and they know who those people are. Now, if you look at when Chavez was in power, you know, they had a movement of people that wanted him out. He was the president before Maduro that did this revolution that got 50% of the people out of poverty. Have a look at this, because this shows you that it's deeper than anything else. So remember, Chavez was, his nickname in his inner circles was the Indian. All right, so he was an Israelite now. All right, from the tribe of Asher. Okay.
Up in Venezuela, even the bankers take to the streets.
There's whispers of another coup. The rich, outnumbered by the poor, have little faith in electoral democracy.
Why not wait for the next election to remove him?
Because it's too much time. We have been 3 years in jail, and we want to change the things. We can't wait until the new elections.
They want a coup, not elections. What are they so unhappy about? The answer is here, where the march ended, in this shopping district on the Park Avenue of Caracas, surrounded by upscale malls like this. The oil has made Venezuela's rich even richer, but Chavez, for the first time, has imposed an income tax on these shoppers. Worse, this once tax-free elite of Venezuela, almost all of them very white, have lost their political privileges to poor Venezuelans who, like Chavez, proudly call themselves black and Indian. Because the dark and poor so outnumber the pale-skinned shoppers, anti-Chavez candidates have a very lonely road to drive.
See, there you go. So it's about, it's not just about resources, it's about the rich and the poor. And the rich were Edomites over there. All right. Remember, the Spanish, they're the ones that conquered that land. That's why the tribe of Asher speaks Spanish. And also they had slavery over there. All right. So you have a mixture of Benjamin, Levi, and Judah over there. All right. So even when Chavez was in power, all right, he taxed those people that were rich who were living the life of Riley. You know what I mean? And basically, he's what's it called? Bolivarian revolution. All right, took Indians who were Israelites from the tribe of Asher and blacks who were Israelites from the tribe of Benjamin, Levi, and Judah out of poverty. That's what they were complaining about, you see. Now, I found this, all right? They've been planning this for a very, very, very long time, all right? A very long time. This is from one of these Jack Ryan movies, basically. Have a look at this. This is years old, man. 6 years old. All right, so have a look at this. So they've been planning this for a long while, and this is something called predictive programming, where in your what's it called, in your videos, I mean in your movies and so forth, they tell you what they're going to do beforehand. It's called predictive programming. They all do that. So have a look at this. So they've been planning this for a long time.
Always be with what lens are you watching the news? Say you just got home from work, you get through the door, you turn on the TV, and that's what you see. What would you assume is the most major threat on the world stage? Anybody, just call it out. You don't have to raise your hand.
Definitely Russia.
Definitely Russia. That's confident. I like it. Who says Russia? Anybody agree with her? Hands? Okay, great. Who else?
China.
Stop yelling at me, but China is a good answer. Anybody? Who else? China?
North Korea?
North Korea. Any North Korea takers? And Venezuela? Anybody? Nope. Oh, yeah. One guy in the back. A little worried about Venezuela. Everybody's cool with Venezuela? No threat? Okay. Let me ask you this. Which one of these places can claim to have the largest oil deposit on the planet? More than Saudi? More than Iran? Wow. Okay. What about things like gold? More than all the mines in Africa combined? The fact is that Venezuela is arguably the single greatest resource of oil and minerals on the planet. So, why is this country in the midst of one of the greatest humanitarian crises in modern history? Let's meet President Nicolas Reyes. After rising to power on a wave of nationalist pride, in a mere 6 years, this guy has crippled the national economy by half. He has raised the poverty rate by almost 400%. Luckily for the rest of us, he's up for re-election. So, who's running against him? This is Gloria Bonalde. Now, Gloria is a history professor turned activist. She's running against him on a social justice platform and on the strength of, in my humble opinion, just not being an asshole. Analyst predictions, as of today, have the chances of Venezuela's total economic collapse at 87%. On the news, they'll call it a crisis. But on the world stage, they'll call it a failed state. If you've never heard that term, other examples of a failed state in recent history are Yemen, Iraq, and Syria. And if that's not bad enough news for you, well, Venezuela is also the only one of these places within 30-minute range from the U.S. of next-gen nuclear missiles. You will not hear about any of this on the news because the biggest players on the world stage do not want you to. To them, unstable governments are nothing more than the greatest of opportunities. So, Russia, China, can never be the most major threat until countries like Venezuela leave the door open to our very own backyard.
See, see, as you can see, this is what, 6 years ago. All right, so they've been planning this for a very, very long time, you know, and it goes back to their blessing that they were given, like I said in the first part, which is oil. But also they have other things that the Heavenly Father gave that land, and Esau wants it. That's why he's a parasite. All right, Deuteronomy 33:24. And of Asher he said, let Asher be blessed with children, let him be acceptable to his brethren, acceptable to his brethren, and let him dip his foot in oil. All right, dip his foot in oil. So that's their blessing. And as you saw in that clip from Jack Ryder, they want it. All right, along with these other minerals that they have. And it's just greed, you know? And they bomb people. Now, in Venezuela, before Chavez came to power, there was a tower block. It was supposed to be like a skyscraper, you know, for bankers or something like that. Then they ran out of money and production stopped. But this proves, because many poor Venezuelans, who are mostly Israelites, moved into this tower. All right. And what is this tower called? The Tower of David. All right. David, after King David in the Bible. Now, why would they call it that? Because they're Israelites, man. And this devil knows it. So it's not just about resources and stuff like that. He doesn't want, all right, any of the 12 tribes of Israel to prosper. All right. He doesn't want that. Anyone trying to help countries where they're populated with Israelites, they don't want that, you know. And this proves that these people are Israelites, bro. Let's play this.
Known locally as the Tower of David, this skyscraper in downtown Caracas has been dubbed everything from a den of thieves to the world's tallest slum. They are labels that have concealed a radical story taking place behind the tower's walls.
Todo lo que está hecho aquí está hecho por el pueblo, es decir, por lo que viven aquí, pues todo. Los cables, los bombillos, yo no tenía nada.
Éramos un grupo de personas, 800 personas, que no tenían vivienda en sí y que, bueno, no tenían un lugar donde estar y agarramos la opción de tomar algo.
Commissioned by one of Venezuela's richest bankers and businessmen, construction on the tower was abruptly halted in 1994 when the country's banking crisis hit. Whilst its fate could have been the same as that of any other abandoned building, left to rot and decay, October 2007 saw the tower catapulted into the midst of a story which would become an urban legend in Venezuela, when 800 families decided to stage a direct occupation of the skyscraper.
Yo en Guarena vivía en un rancho, donde cuando llovía muy duro, siempre el agua me lo tumbaba. Entonces ya estaba cansado de pararlo, volvía, me lo tumbaba y no tenía cómo pagar un alquiler.
For many, like Maria, the tower represented a chance for a decent place to live, in spite of its unsafe and hazardous conditions. It was a response to what has been described as a housing crisis in the country, where over 50% of the population currently live in what are known as barrios or shanty towns. For over 2 months, families lived in tents on the ground floor, with no electricity or access to water. Their perseverance would eventually pay off, however, and each family was allocated a room according to their level of need.
Nosotros no hacíamos, no, es que tú te montas tú y tú te montas tú, no. Nosotros llamábamos a una asamblea ciudadana.
The Citizens' Assembly would be the start of a 7-year experiment in how to organise life in the 21st century city, as well as the moment which gave birth to the housing cooperative Todos Somos Caciques, or we are all chiefs or leaders, meaning that everyone was equal.
Mira, nosotros aquí tenemos una parte organizativa por cada piso. Nosotros aquí, como somos coordinadores generales, somos coordinadores por piso. Y es algo organizativo, porque nosotros no tenemos que organizarnos primero para hacer las cosas.
As citizens from poorer backgrounds, the tower's residents have regularly been demonised as criminals in the press or criticised for having brought working-class customs from the barrio, such as using motorbikes, into the centre of the city. Many of the residents say that they have learned to turn the other cheek to scathing reports in the media.
Salió un cuento de una Hummer, una ametralladora, de donde que los coordinadores eran los que tenían los mejores espacios, que cobraban un dinero, que tenían unas motos de alto cilindraje y que vivían en los pisos más chéveres. Yo vivía en el 28, casi 5 años viviendo ya en el 28. y no tengo ni una bicicleta. Entonces uno desmentía todo eso y lo que hacíamos era reírnos ya después que nos pasaba la molestia.
Whilst residents might have been punished by the private press and the country's elite for having flouted the rules of the private property market, their transformation of the tower from a symbol of a failed economic system to a communal home won a prize at the 2012 Venice Architecture Biennale. The socialist government of Hugo Chavez has also consistently praised the residents as an example of community organisation and people power.
Hay un compañero que él dice que esto fue una universidad, es una universidad. Aquí se aprendió muchas cosas y que estamos dispuestos pues, a salir a apoyar a los compatriotas o vecinos que tengan o vivan en la misma situación que nosotros, que con la organización se logra todo. Un pueblo unido, como decía el comandante, jamás será vencido. Si cada uno tira por su lado, no tendrán fuerza.
The families at the centre of this story will soon be moving to new apartments as part of the government's mass house building project, which began in 2011 and prioritises allocating housing to those living in unsafe conditions. Although many are pleased to have finally won the battle for dignified housing, leaving the tower will not be easy, despite its precarious conditions.
You see, so it's called the Tower of David. You see the Tower of David? You know, so it was an abandoned tower. And when Chavez came to power, he never had any problem with it. He actually praised them. It was an abandoned, what's it called? It was an abandoned skyscraper. All right, so why leave it empty? Just let people live there. And the people lived there, man. And they did the electricity, they did the lighting. They've even got businesses there. You know, they make cookies there, they make things to sell on the road. There's this guy called Simon Reeves on BBC One. He went there. I saw that episode. And it was miraculous what they are doing with the place, you know. But why do they call it the Tower of David? After King David in the Bible, because they're Israelites. This is Romans 8:16. The Spirit itself beareth witness with our spirit that we are the children of God. All right, and that includes, the tribe of Asher. All right, they are the children of Yahweh Bashim Yahshai, and the ones that keep saying that all 12 tribes are going to be black like me and so forth, you have no idea what you're talking about. All right, it's prophecy in the Bible. All right, and remember, all 12 tribes came out of who? All right, from Jacob, but Leah, Rachel, Bilnah, and Zilpah. All right, so all the different tribes, the 12 tribes, all right, came out of 4 different women from Jacob's seed. So how can they all look the same? Doesn't make sense, you know. That's why just got to leave these people. All right, so they're Israelites, they're spirit bear witness. So why do they call it the Tower of David? They could have called it any other word, but they called it the Tower of David. They didn't call it the Tower of Allah or the Tower of Gilgamesh. They called it the Tower of David because they're Israelites, huh? Okay? So Esau's theft, all right, is going to bite him in the ass because all these nations are going to come against him for this Third World War, which is a beautiful thing. And the Lord is going to destroy them. All right? Because they're lawless and their pride is puffed up. And we know if you go back to in Egypt with Pharaoh, the Lord hardened his heart. You know? Pharaoh didn't want to let them Israelites go. And I love that film, 10 Commandments, man. With Charlton Heston, there's a couple of things which is bullshit in it, but the majority of it is on point. It's a brilliant film. All right. This is Micah 2:1. It says, "Woe unto them that devise iniquity and work evil upon their beds." All right. When the morning is light, they practice it because it's in their power of their hand. Yeah, see, it was in their power of America to kidnap this guy, you know, and kill all those people, cut out the electricity, you know. They cut out the electricity, man. Can you imagine? You know, you're in your house and then all the electricity everywhere in Caracas and the other cities went black. They cut off the electricity. They did, you know, they bombed civilian areas and they kill people. Why? Because they want, because the power's in their hand. Job 9:24. The earth is given into the hand of what? The wicked, man. All right. Verse 2. And they covet fields and take them by violence. See? And they did take them by violence. They had humans protecting Maduro. So, soldiers, and they killed the majority of them. And houses, and take them away. So they oppress a man and his house, even a man and his heritage. All right, and that's what they did. They protect. Maduro was born and raised there. All right, and a lot of the. Listen, I'm not saying that Maduro's what's it called? Maduro is not Chavez, and many people suspect that the CIA poisoned Chavez to have that brain tumor. All right, even what's this guy? Tucker Carlson, he said that, but he said allegedly, and when they say allegedly, they probably did. They took him out, but then they wanted to take out Maduro. There was an assassination attempt when he was doing a talk on stage where a drone came over and they protected him. That drone tried to fire live rounds, man, and he had a soldier parade and they all scattered, etc., but they didn't kill him. So they've been trying to kill this guy for a long while and demonize him. And they're doing the same thing with Iran. All right? So Maduro's born and raised there, so they are doing exactly what Micah 2 and 2 is saying. They covet fields and take them by violence, all right, and houses and take them away. And so they oppress a man and his house, even a man and his heritage. Yeah, they're trying to get the resources that are in that land. And it's not going to work out for them in the end, man. All right, and if you look at the subheading, it says, "Woe, woe to oppressors." Woe means destruction. So that's what's coming for you Edomites, all right, so-called white people, and America in this Third World War. All right, but this is more proof that these are the children of Yahweh Shem Yahushai. All right, out of all the names they could have called it, they called it the Tower of David, man. Powerful statement, So listen, I pray you'll edify. That's the second part of Asher's blessing, which is the oil, which this devil wants to take. But when all these things happen, you should always pray and pray for the elect, because the elect are the Lord's treasured people, and they're going to be delivered. So when you see things like that, bombs or earthquakes or any of these bad things happening around the world where it affects our people, always pray for the elect. So listen, I pray you're edified. To the next lesson. Shalom.